everyone, and welcome back to the show. I am your host, The Vigilante, and I am back at it with another video. So I'm going to be reacting to Nintendo Prime's latest video. He goes full boot-lickin all over again. And if you truly enjoy my video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really need your help. Also, men, please make sure to wrap it up so you don't have to produce a coward's son like Nintendo Prime.
So as we dive in here, we got this article over at Go Nintendo. It says Japanese retailers see a massive Switch 2 stock allotments, but demand still far outpaces supply. So basically, they're getting a ton of Switch 2s, but unfortunately, they still can't keep up. So as we go down here, so what we have learned about the Switch 2 so far, well, in terms of sales, it seems that Switch 2 is going to be a ginormous hit right out the gate. The system saw its pre-order sell out pretty much instantly around the world, meaning Switch 2 will be extremely hard to come by at launch for those who didn't get one on early purchase. Apparently,
well, no shit that it's selling so well in Japan when they get theirs for $330 damn. You sound so excited over that. Well, we're getting screwed over paying $450. I hope you're happy that you're subsidizing the welfare system over there in Japan.
Apparently, the situation might be even worse in Japan. Anecdotal evidence points to retailers in Japan getting huge Switch 2 allotments for launch, with one Yokado store getting 320 units for launch, and another store getting 125 units. That might seem like a sizable batch of Switch 2 units, and especially if you consider pre-orders here in the United States, right? We had some GameStops have like 150 in person. We didn't have any go over 300, so there's a lot here. But pre-order lotteries show those numbers don't even come close to satiating demand. The Yokota store may be getting 320 Switch 2 units.
Well, yeah, but I guarantee you over here, if they would have lowered it down to the same price as the Japanese one, they would be sitting there getting way more offers than what they are now. They would sit there and be way more. We're talking about a significant increase compared to Japan if they sat there and did that over here. But no, Nintendo wants to use us to subsidize the gaming industry for Japan.
But their pre-order lottery tells another story. One pre-order hopeful noted their ticket clocked in at 6,000, meaning that demand is at least 18 times higher than supply at that one individual store. Again, that's just based on one pre-order lottery ticket number, but there's no word on just how high lottery participants ended up climbing. The situation is on a smaller scale with the second store where we mentioned, but it still points to major supply issues. Well, the store is getting 125 launch units for Switch 2. We know that at least 900 people have signed up for the pre-order lottery. In other words, there is going to be a lot of disappointed fans coming June 5th, 2025. And man, that is insane. 18 times?
I don't know why they're going to be so disappointed. I mean, it's not like most of them probably don't have another console to play. It's not like they haven't played most of the games coming to the Switch 2. So except for Mario Kart World, what isn't even worth $80 damn, what are they missing out on?
Holy crap. The demand for Switch 2 is just palpable when it comes to Japan. And look, this just adds into the total number of expected orders for Switch 2 day one. Like, that's expected. Nintendo's about to break every single pre-order record.
Well, of course they're going to sit there and smash the pre-order records when we got people like you brainwashing people into thinking it's worth the money to spend on. You know, if they would sit there and lower it down to $330 for everybody, well, no, they would smash PS2's muscle consoles.
I don't know what the final sales are going to be day one. Obviously, only Nintendo knows how many units they're making, and they're seemingly selling every single unit they can make. I do know pre-orders are still readily available in some countries, but I can start to see, like, if those countries' pre-orders don't pick up, some of those units might get reallocated to the US or Japan. That does happen. Move units around to where demand exists the most. That being said, we're not done talking about Japanese pre-orders because remember how I said we got to get into...
If they relocate those Switch 2 units over to Japan, then that shows they can sit there and turn any of those consoles into a region locked. So we're paying $120 more just so we can have ours not region locked. Hey, I will gladly take one at $330 if it means that it's an American locked one. If they had an American locked one, mostly everybody would be going for that. Almost nobody would be going for one that's not region locked.
Like, hey, what's the demand for the different console units? Well, we have an idea now, thanks to this article over on Video Game Chronicle. It says less than 3% of Japanese players trying to get a pre-order for Switch 2 want the region-free version, a survey suggests. Now, as we go down here, Nintendo is selling a cheaper region-locked Switch 2 model in Japan. So it says earlier this month, Nintendo announced a Japanese domestic-only version of Switch 2 will be the only version available to purchase from general retailers in Japan. That's like the big thing here is, while they are selling the region-free version, you actually have to get that directly from Nintendo. If you're going to buy it retail, you can only get the Japanese exclusive one, which again could end up skewing some of the results when that's exactly what you plan to buy because it's like the only thing truly available.
Really? Are you really trying to downplay how people would rather pay $330 versus $450? If they had a region locked one here in America where it was only in English, what do you think people would buy? Do you think that people would go buy that, or do you think they would go buy the one that's not region locked? I would bet that they would buy the one that's not region or the one that is region locked where you can sit there and get it only in English. You want to know why? Most people can't afford to travel, let alone buy one like that.
Anyways, the domestic only console will retail for a cheaper price, which is 49,980 yen or 334 USD, and will only have Japanese as the console's language setting. And the only Nintendo account that will be linked will be one created with the country and region setting to Japan. Players who want a region-free model will have to try the Japanese My Nintendo store, where a more expensive Switch 2 model with multilingual support can be found priced at 69,980 yen, or roughly $467 US. Ex-user Yakuna-Sam14 surveyed nearly 60,000 players who had entered the Nintendo lottery to pre-order Switch 2 console from its official My Nintendo store, as spotted by Automation, and 69.7% of those surveyed said they applied for the region-locked Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart World, while a further 27.5% said they applied for the region-locked Switch 2 console on its own. This left just 2.9% of respondents who said they applied for the more expensive, region-free, multilingual version exclusive to the My Nintendo store.
Okay, I was so wrong. It's $334, so sue me. But I'm going to laugh so hard if people could find a way to hack those things where they could change the settings and make it a non-region locked Switch. That would be hilarious.
While the cheaper region lock model is clearly more popular in Japan, according to these findings, there's a silver lining for those looking for region-free version, in that there's a chance of being chosen for the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order lottery was much higher due to lesser demand. According to the survey, 69.7% of people who applied to pre-order a region-locked Switch 2 with Mario Kart World, only 24.3% were successfully chosen in that lottery. Of the 27.5% who applied for the pre-order for the region-locked console on its own, only 17.6% were successful. However, of the 2.9% who applied for the pre-order of the more expensive region-free model, a vast majority of them, 91.2% of those surveyed, were successful and were able to pre-order their chosen console. So basically, if you were trying to get one in Japan at the My Nintendo store, you really wanted to go for the region-free version. Otherwise, it was going to be very hard to get. But obviously, people want to save money.
Well, of course they would want to save money. Who wouldn't want to save money? I think you're the only one that wouldn't. You're perfectly happy that they're saving money, but your own people are getting screwed over. And I find it extremely funny. I love the backlash that this guy was getting when it came to him pre-ordering 6 Nintendo Switches. And he said in one of the other videos that he wasn't going to give away all those. One were for him, one was for his co-host, and then he was only supposed to give away like 2, and he was going to do something else with the other 2. Now he changed his damn tone. He said that already did a giveaway for one of them, and he's going to do another the giveaway for the other 3, so he isn't going to keep any of them. I am so glad you guys sat there and held him to the fire. Good job. Unfortunately, I didn't win the pre-order, but that would be so funny if or the giveaway, I mean. It would be so funny if I win one of his giveaways. I would love for that he has to give somebody who has been bashing him this whole time just to sit there and get one of his giveaways. That would be hilarious.
Again, things are going absolutely insane in Japan. These are obviously going to be record-breaking numbers. And we're not done talking about Nintendo of Japan, because Nintendo did this really cool thing, and they're claiming this cool thing is going to be available in English. However, it's not available just yet. And that is they released a Nintendo Magazine 2025 special issue. I feel like they were only handing this out in Japan. I don't know, because I haven't seen anybody at the Switch 2 experiences here have it. But I want to go look at this news article. It comes right off of the Nintendo Japan website. So we're using Google Translate. This is the digital version of the Nintendo Magazine 2025 special issue featuring the Nintendo Switch 2 has been released. The printed version will also be shipped to TV game stores nationwide from around May 9th. Now, again, this is just in Japan. And you can see it's got some really cool facts and interesting stuff in there. We actually learned something from this magazine. We're going to get to it in a moment. It says Nintendo Magazine has been delivering information on a variety of software from the latest titles to classic titles for Nintendo Switch. This time, to commemorate the release of Switch 2, we'll be publishing the Nintendo Magazine 2025 special issue ahead of the print version. The digital version was released, which, yes, you can go check out the digital version if you want. Again, it's all in Japanese, so it's very hard to understand for me. But it says the special issue is a comprehensive feature that introduces the features of Switch 2, newly added functions, and a lineup of new software, bringing together recommended content for those considering purchasing a Switch 2.
I wonder how much this one's going to cost. Oh, they're probably going to sit there and charge you like $5 for this. You know they're not going to give it away for free. They won't even give the instruction manual for the Nintendo Switch 2 in for free.
The company used Donkey Kong Bananza to showcase the console's advancements, and didn't take long to spot a small piece of text under the image confirming the title will run at up to 1080p resolution, 60 FPS with HDR in handheld mode. That's awesome. It is not common for launch titles to take full advantage of a new console, so this is definitely impressive. Still, we've yet to see how the 1080p 60 FPS performance holds up in actual tests. It's also worth noting the Switch 2 offers up to 120 Hz, more than the Steam Deck, so there's still some headroom to target. That said, Donkey Kong Bananza is set to arrive on July 17th and will be priced at $69.99 US.
$70 is too high for this game. This game needs to be like $50. All games should go back down to $50, but this should be no more than $60 at the very most. But you know, you love it how this out there and said could go up to 1080p. But at least he was honest. He's like, well, we don't know how long that's going to hold the frame rate. So at least he can be honest, and he's being a little bit realistic, which is actually kind of shocking for Nintendo Prime.
Get ready for Donkey Kong Bananza, a brand new 3D platforming action adventure available exclusively on Switch 2. Crash, bash, and climb through nearly everything in DK's path, and tear off chunks of terrain to swing around and throw in groundbreaking exploration. The more that is demolished with powerful punches, the more areas open up to discover. break on through this adventure of full mayhem and surprises and bananas with Donkey Kong Bananza crashes on Switch 2 July 17th. So again, just some great news for Donkey Kong Bananza. Obviously, whether it runs at a consistent 60 FPS and it stays at 1080p and there isn't some multiple resolution shenanigans going on in handheld, we don't know. The game was not available, by the way, in handheld at the Switch 2 demo events, the Switch 2 experiences, so nobody there got to play it in that way. So this is new information that we'll have to wait and see if it gets confirmed.
I wonder why you couldn't play it in handheld mode, which I thought you could, but I guess you couldn't. No wonder you couldn't play it in handheld mode. You don't see that as suspicious? Oh, yeah, there, my guy, and you're the one that's like, oh, it's in the running for Game of the Year. The hell it freaking is.
But not everything is all sunshine and roses with Switch 2. We talked about some of the weird things happening with Switch 2, whether it's game key cards or whether it's Welcome Tour being a $10 standalone thing on the eShop when it probably should have just been packed in, or at least a free download on the eShop. Well,
or how about Mario Kart World selling for $80? Are you going to gloss over that one again? I remember one video you sat there and said, oh, it was worth it. Then in another video, when you were getting a little bit of backlash for it, you were like, oh, well, I'm not here to tell you if it's worth it or if it's not worth it. You can only put a price on your own entertainment. Then you finally made a third video where you were like, well, I do think it's too damn expensive. I don't know where that got lost in translation.
There's still some more weirdness going on, and again, it's with third-party games. We got to go to Limited Run this time, and this is what I don't get is it's Limited Run, who's known for making physical copies of games and special collector's editions. Man, they're doing the Switch 2 a little dirty. Limited Run's Atlas Switch 2 Collector's Edition is a game keycard release. It's $250. I want to look, we'll see what's included, but it's $250, but they're not putting it on a full physical card, and that's literally like Limited Run's entire shtick, is like putting things on physical cards. Okay, so come down here. It says, as we discovered in recent weeks, multiple third-party Switch 2 games.
I will find that very ridiculous that it's a $250 collector edition for number one. Number two, it should be on a physical card. And number three, I already know he's going to be like, well, this ain't Nintendo's fault. This is a third-party problem. No, it is Nintendo's fault. Nintendo could be like, no, if you're going to release a game on our platform, it will be fully on the cartridge.
Will be sold as game key cards. Nintendo explains on its own website how the cards are different from regular physical cards and don't contain the full game and act as a key. While many collectors were hoping dedicated physical distributors might step in and save the day, this doesn't appear to be the case for the upcoming Atlas release. That's what we're talking about. Limited Run is like a dedicated physical game release partner. And even Limited Run won't use physical cartridges. What is going on? Limited Run, you have one job. Take a digital game, put it on a physical cartridge. You have one job. And you're charging $250 for this. All right, let's get.
I agree, this is completely ridiculous, but we all know that if Nintendo was to do this, you would be letting your back get blown out by them. You wouldn't even be saying a word. You would be justifying trying to defend them until you got backlash again.
Into this. Limited Runs Games just announced it's helping Atlas and Sega distribute a collector's edition, which, by the way, I don't know why Atlas and Sega need help, but whatever, of Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. And according to a notice on its website, the Switch 2 collector's edition of this title includes a game keycard. Unsurprisingly, this hasn't gone well online. And it's $250 for this collector's edition, and it comes packaged with everything but a proper physical copy of the game. This announcement follows Atlas last week confirming the standard physical copy of Raidu Remastered for Switch 2 would be a game keycard release. So they're basically just reusing the standard version when Limited Run's entire point of existence is to give you the physical. And yeah, so here's what you get with it, right?
Where's all this animosity towards Nintendo with them packing in a digital copy of the Mario Kart World? Why aren't you sitting there saying, hey, we want a physical copy on the game key card or on the game card itself? No, you're not going to sit there and do that for Nintendo. So I don't even know why you're acting like you're all angry about it. You know you're going to buy it, so quit acting like you're here for the consumer. Quit acting like you actually give a fuck. The only reason why you're complaining is because of something to make it look like you're doing good for the consumer. But if this would have been Nintendo, you would have never had done it.
No matter how much we want to put blame at Nintendo's feet for maybe some of this and maybe having cart size issues and stuff, I'm sorry. Limited Run, don't even bother to put this on Switch 2 then. What are you doing? What are you doing? Options are fine, but your one job is full physical for $250. Anyways, let's get back into a bit more idea about how well Nintendo Switch 2.
You notice how he just glossed over, so they're saying like, oh, some people want to put the fire at Nintendo's feet and lighting the fire and all that. I love how he glossed over that and just completely bashed the other company, but was like, no, Nintendo, it's okay. This ain't your fault. No, it is Nintendo's fault. Nintendo can sit there and be like, no, you will not release a game key card. Nintendo can sit there and say, absolutely no. Nintendo can make it to where those game key cards do not work, but is Nintendo going to do that? No, because they're a greedy corporation that doesn't care about their fan base or consumers.
Could be selling in the US since we're seeing sellouts here as well, not just in Japan. And we look here to this tweet by Necro Felipe, translated here. It looks like it comes from Family Boards, probably behind some hidden posts there. So it says, as of March 2025, more than 1.2 million Nintendo Switch 2 units, combining console and bundle, have been shipped to the United States. Remembering that not everything stays there. Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and Latin countries receive the USA, but pretty much all those units will be sold. I predicted there would be about 2 million units, maybe maybe 3. It kind of depends, but that's as of March. Remember, they still have obviously this month and May to get units shipped for launch as well. So again, I'm projecting it's going to be about 2 to 2.5 million here in the North American region. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of those sales are going to be in the US. So
okay, so the first year is going to be really good. This is what my prediction is going to be. If Nintendo keeps on the way they're going with their high overpriced stuff, I think the first year, yeah, they're going to have an amazing first year, and then it's going to start to drop off. I do not expect this to get to anywhere near the height of the Switch 1. Nowhere near do I expect that to happen. Unless they sit there and go back to what they're known for, being family friendly, being good to the consumers, giving a good product at a good price. This overpriced right now, it is not going to fly. It's not going to do good for their longevity. We may have another Wii U. Now, I still think it's going to sell better than the Wii U, but I do not think it's going to be nearly as good. I think it's going to be more like the DS and the 3DS. I believe the DS sold like 150 million copies. The 3DS sold like 80 million, I believe.
If we get any more breaking news stuff today, we'll either get another video about or we'll save it for tomorrow. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a fun journey here. We're almost to May. We got one more day left, guys. One more day. And that day that we have left in April is tomorrow, where we have the
I still really hope that your pre-orders get lost. How funny would that be if he shows up to go pick up his pre-orders and they all get lost? That would be amazing, and he cannot play the Switch 2 on day 1. I am praying for that to happen. Well, that's it for my reaction. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.